Massive dumps.
Oh, massive dump.
Alright, well, greetings everyone out there in YouTube land, and welcome to another video, and welcome to spring. The equinox is here. Today is March 20th, and it is the spring equinox, and what a better day to celebrate the first day of spring than to go out and do a hike. And if this area looks familiar to you, well, yeah, it is, because I was here last spring and filmed this area. And you're going to see some videos coming out here in the next few months of probably some areas that I was at before and filmed, but I'm going back to refilm them for two reasons. One, there may have been something there that I missed the first time I was here, or two, I got some special guests with me showing them the area, which is the case today. So today I am joined with, you see him back there, that's Nick from NixCrossing, and MattPG, or Matt Parental Guidance as I like to call him. I brought these two guys with here today to show them this area. So we are here at the Grings Mill Recreation area again, and we're going to explore this park here, and we are going to explore the Union Canal again. And last year it took me about 3 days to film all the segments that I did. Today we're going to do it in one day. So come along with us as we check out the remnants of the Union Canal.
Alright, so walking down where I did my intro there, coming across this bridge, we're coming up to this little house here again. And if you remember from my first video I did, this here was part of the electric plant that's here that was used to generate electric for that house up there on the hill. I forget the guy's name. There used to be an information thing here, but they took it down. I can take a peek inside here, and it looks like they got a model railroad inside here. So Jay, if you watch this video, you and RJ will appreciate this. Here's the other end of the rail line here. And it looks like up on the top there, if I can zoom in. Probably not showing up that good, you can just see the silhouette because of the lighting, but that is the pagoda. That's supposed to be Skyline Drive up there. And where is it? There it is. That is the William Penn Memorial Fire Tower.
Alright, so hopefully you can see the house that's up behind me there. That was built by C. Scott Althouse, I believe. He was a manufacturer here in Reading and basically built this dam and house here to generate electricity, direct current electricity for that house up there, and also to for the electricity to be used in the paint making process, from what I'm told in the brochure. And when you come here to the park, in the parking area, they have a thing there like a kiosk. Pick yourself up one of these brochures. This tells you everything about the canal here and special key points along the way, and it maps out the whole area, the whole 4-mile stretch or so, from the Schuylkill River down in Reading all the way up to Blue Marsh Lake.
And underneath here, underneath the bridge, is the controls or the mechanisms that control the gates that raised and lowered to allow the water to flow through to go over the turbines that would generate the direct current electricity. I missed this last year when I was here because things were starting to get green and start growing, but looking across the creek there, you can see some ruins. I'm not sure what they were used for, but this is just a neat area down here. This is where the canal takes a bend to the right. This is a beautiful view here, and the people that live up in that house right there have a gorgeous view of the creek down here. That's a private residence up there. But the house was pretty much built into the bedrock that you can see there.
I don't know if that's private property or not.
So looking across the creek there, if you can see it, right about there, there's some old ruins that I missed the first time when I was here filming. But it is posted. We did see no trespassing signs, so we won't be venturing over there. But that's why I come back to these places again the second time, because you never know what you might have missed the first time. Alright, so we're coming up here to where it splits off here and actually makes a fork here, and we'll go either direction here. But they have built a bridge that goes across the creek there, takes you over onto the other side, and then you got this path that actually goes down into the canal, where the canal would have crossed over to the top of Hawken Creek. So we'll check the bridge out and walk onto the other side, but there isn't any parts of the canal that are visible on the other side of that bridge anymore because of man and construction. They destroyed that when they put in 422 in the West Shore bypass. So pretty much this is going to be pretty much the end here that I'll show you. After that, we're going to turn around and head back up through and check out some more interesting places along the trail here. And what video wouldn't be complete here without thinking of Jay from JP Video. So Jay, if you get to see this video, there you go, covered. Nature's carpet for you.
Down here too.
Alright, so this is going to be where we're turning around here. This is number 3 on the map. So if you walk down here to the creek, you can see this stone structure of where the mule bridge used to be that went across to the other side where the lock house was. The bridge would have went across the creek this way, and there was a dam that was built here to provide a smooth passage for the boats to cross over the creek, and then the mule bridge would have been right here that went over so the mules could cross and they could take the boats and go across the stream nice and smooth. But that part over there where the canal would have been, I was there last year and it was a total bust. There's nothing left of it anymore that I could find walking through there. That's the Grings Recreation area over there. There was no remains of the canal over there anymore because of man with construction and nature. So we're going to turn around here and head back up through, go up on the other side of Grings Mill, and check out some other areas up there. One thing I keep forgetting to show is where we're walking along the towpath here, and this was in my previous video last year when I was here, but walking along the towpath right here, this is the remains of the canal. I'm not sure if I pointed that out as we're walking down here, but that's pretty much where the canal was at one time. And here's another view again as we're coming back up here to the mill area. You can see the canal along here again and where it stops at that little wall up there where it is no more because man destroyed it through construction, but that house that's there would have been the lock tender's house again that would have operated the lock that was here in this area. And coming back up here to where the waterfalls is, you can see these stones over here, particularly the red ones. They use those red sandstones a lot. You see them around the canal here, especially where the locks were. They use them to make the walls for the lock area, which you'll see at some other locations as we go along the trail. Alright, so we're on the other side of the creek here, and we're actually at Grings Mill itself, and that's the mill right there. And if I zoom in up top there, you can see the date that it was built in 1811. So there's a little canal that's on the other side here where we're at, and I'll show you that was put in to get water down here to the mill. And I believe there's an information board down here that explains everything. And then this was the house to the mill, which is now the office for the park, or the county owns it now, so it's the county park office. There's another shot of the mansion back side of it here. And this was also a quarry area at one time, and I'm not sure where the canal ran through here because this is pretty much destroyed. But if you look up on the other side of Matt, you can see where the embankment is for the canal, where it picks up again.
Right behind us, this is the remnants of it. And what Randy was saying, this is the device that
There's
they would
the
open
canal.
and allow the canal to drain.
And then they got a device here that they can let water in and out of the canal. Come on. How appropriate for the first day of spring is the first time I heard them for this year. Those are spring peeps.
Oh, wow.
First, spring is officially here now when you hear spring peeps.
Yeah.
All right, so we're back over here on the other side again, and over here is this little channel that was made that fed the mill over there. So we'll give you one last look here of Grings Mill before we head up to the Burke's Heritage Center, and I show Matt and Nix the area up there of all the stuff up there that's to see. Alright, well here we are here at the second location, and hopefully that focuses in. As you can see, that's Wirtz's covered bridge that's behind me, and I filmed that last year when I was here. So we're going to be venturing through that again. I'll give you some more information on it, the history of it, how long it is, and all that good stuff once we get through it. Alright, so here we are inside this covered bridge, and I did a shot of this last year where I walked the entire length of it by myself. But this is one of the largest covered bridges in Pennsylvania. But I just love the woodwork and the craftsmanship, how this was put together. And I'll give you a shot of the information board once we get on the other side. It'll tell you the last time there was traffic through here and how long this bridge actually is.
Surprised I still know how to skip.
So here is the information board for Wirtz's Red Bridge. And if you want to pause the video and read this, you can. This was included last year in my video as well.
Built in 1867 for just under 7,500 bucks.
Sign me up.
Yeah.
I would like one.
Alright, so we're walking down the path here along the creek, and we came from the covered bridge, which is right up there. But I'm gonna take Matt and Nix down here to right through the trees there. There's an old cemetery that I filmed last year when I was here that was relocated from Blue Marsh Lake, or where Blue Marsh Lake is now. So you got to turn left off of the trail and you come into this huge open field, and that's you can see the Gruber Wagon Works building in the back there. But we're going to go over here and check out this cemetery that was relocated. And here's the information board. I'll get as close as I can. You guys can pause the video if you want to read more on it, and I'll take a picture of it too, but this explains everything about it. Alright, so those guys walked in here through the cemetery, and I actually found a geocache that was here that I missed last year. But some tombstones here have writings on them. Some of them are just markers. Can't make out anything that are on them. Some of them are just rocks. And some of them have unknown on them. And I know there's a thing that if you leave money on a grave, there's a thing behind it. And these are pennies that are left on the graves
Seeing a
here.
penny at the grave means simply that you visited. A nickel indicates that you and the deceased trained at boot camp together, while a dime means you served with him in some capacity. By leaving a quarter at the grave, you were telling the family that you were with the soldier when he was killed.
Okay.
Wow.
Interesting. I never knew that.
Yeah, Cliff had it in one of his videos. He explained it a little bit, and I couldn't remember, but there's pennies all over some of these graves here. So a penny is that you visit the grave.
Right.
Okay.
That's amazing.
All right, so we came up the path again, came underneath the covered bridge, and this should be a familiar shot from last year. So we're going to walk up along the trail here again, and we're going to pick up the canal, which ends right about here. There really wasn't any area when we were down at that cemetery to show you the canal because it was destroyed by man.
Remnants of the canal.
But this is remnants of it here where it ends, and it continues up and around the bend, and I'll show you again the house that's up there and the remains of one of the locks.
We're going to continue what would be a canal boat.
And I missed this last year when I was here, but Nick just pointed this out. There is an old canal boat across the ways there, so that's what a boat would have looked like. Could have been like that. Some of them could have been flat too to haul the supplies, but that is definitely an old canal boat. And those of you that know me know I love my wildlife, so we did capture some more wildlife here. A pair of ducks. And something that I missed when I was here last year, and Matt just pointed out, I'll zoom in, but there's steps right where my finger is, and they go up to what looks like a dark area over there, and we're not sure if there's a cave there or something, but
it looks like something.
Should be able to see where the stairs are there. And then it goes up to that dark area right there.
I zoomed in. It almost looks like stone. I'm wondering if that's a culvert or something.
So we don't know what that is, and there's really no easy way of getting over there to it either.
We're not
because
too
it's
far down from where we parked. It's right by.
Oh, I know where it is. It's by the entrance to that gated community.
Yeah. And I don't know if there's.
But that's a steep drop off over there.
Yeah.
That's the gate.
Alright, so traveling down the trail a little bit more, and this is one of my favorite areas, and I got to take a picture of this house again. This is just a beautiful house that's along here, and I'm not sure if this was a lock tender's house or not, but right here is the remains of one of the locks. So I mean, this would just be so cool back in the day if the canal was here and that house was there, that you would be out on your porch and have boats literally go through the front yard. You can see the remains here. And then over here is the red sandstones I was talking about that they used to line the walls of the canal. And I'm just down by the creek again. He's getting a shot of that whole house. That is huge.
Figured that out. We
They
just
upgraded.
All right, so yeah, it helps if I read too, but yeah, as we discovered that this was actually the lock tender's house right here and the remains of it, not the big mansion that we see behind us here. So that is not the lock tender's house, although that would have been cool back in the day if that house was there and the canal was here. Have the canal in your front yard. So one final look here of the lock tender's house before we head on down the trail again back to our vehicles. And our next stop, we are actually going to check out a restored lock that was restored back in 1975. Alright, so here's an information board. We're actually at the Berks Heritage Center right now, which I'm going to quickly take you through because I did an in-depth thing on this last year. But the farmhouse that's here is the Reeser farmhouse, and this is the information on it. If you want to pause the video there and read it, you can. It's basically the farmhouse that's here. And then the barn that was down there. And then I guess this was a smokehouse here at one time, according to the sign that's on the side of it. And this is just over from the bridge itself. And we're going to walk up in the back here and show you again the Gruber Wagon Works and the memorials that are up here.
Like Red Bridge. It almost looks like.
So we're going to show you again the Heritage Park here. This is a water turbine which I took pictures of last year. This is the Pleasant Valley Roller Mills water turbine that was in there.
You say they give tours here?
I don't know if they do or not. I don't think they do now with the because of the, you know, everything that's going on. Go on the county website. It should have information on there. But this is the Gruber Wagon Works, and you can see here, in fact, there's the picture, if it's showing up, right here, of when it was crossing, that is Route 183, that it came down. This is 222 right here, so they took it across the Route 183 when they moved it, when they were building Blue Marsh Lake, and that was relocated in 1976 is when they moved it down here. There's more information on it. You can pause the video if you want to read more on it. Alright, so we're coming up to the memorial part of the Heritage Center here. This is just one of the plaques that's along here. This one's for the 148th Fighter Squadron of the Air National Guard of Pennsylvania. And then behind me here, as I turn you around, you got the FOP Memorial and the War Memorial.
Oh, that's cool. Sitting at 39%.
What, your phone?
Yeah.
I've already got a charge on it. I really like this gimbal thing.
Yeah.
There's one shot you can do it.
And these fountains are on when the weather is nicer, but all the wharves are along the concrete here. They have these little Berks County cutouts, and all the wharves listed are all along here.
I lost connection.
Alright, so here we are, we're back here. This is actually at Reaver's Bridge fly fishing area of the top of Hawken Creek. So this is fly fishing only along here. So if you see fishermen in here, that's all they're doing is fly fishing, and right now it's catch and release. But this is like the end of the canal, this section of it right here. We're going to be walking down the trail again to the area where the restored lock is, but you can see over here, this is where the canal would have ended, and it gets a little funky right in here. If I remember correctly reading, I think there might have been some form of aqueduct here that took the canal over this creek right here. And I'll have to do the research on that, but I think it's listed on that brochure. Okay, so I am reading the brochure that's here, and we're at number 12, and it does say on here that there was a aqueduct here, a canal aqueduct, which was a wooden bridge filled with water, which transported the barges over this creek here, which is called the Plum Creek. So somewhere right over in this area would have been the aqueduct going across here, but there is definitely no remains of it anymore. And then right down here you can see where the canal ends. We are just about at our destination here, and our third stop. And down just in front where those ladies are walking, you can see it, is the lock. And I forget the actual lock number, but it has an information board there, which I'll show you. But this was actually restored back in 1975, and it could actually use some more restoration. But this is about the only lock along here that I know of that is actually in pretty decent shape. Alright, so I'm actually standing in the canal itself. This is you can see the contour of the land here, how it curves, and here's one of the one end here, and you can see the red sandstones again that they use to make the walls. And we did find the turtles again. They are here, which I'll show you once I get closer to them. Alright, so looking down in the bottom of the canal actually is wooden. I'm not quite sure how deep it is. It may be about, just judging, could be about 2 feet deep. But some of the turtles are going into the water here, and I want to try and get some of them before they all disappear on me. There you go. There's 2 of them right there on that log. And then down, there's one of them around there somewhere that has his head sticking up. There we go. There's some more turtles. There's actually a big one right there. And he's pretty much looking up at me.
This continues way down there. We came from this direction here, we're like
But down here at this end, I can't remember last year if this door, I think this door was collapsed in last year when I was here. That's a shame. It would be nice if you could, if this could get restored again.
There's a baby turtle down there on that log. I'm not sure if it's alive or not.
And then down that trail there would continue on down to the Heritage Center. That's a couple miles down the road there, probably about 2 miles or so. It's a little bit of a hike to get from there up to here. It's easier if you want to just come and see the lock to park at Reber's Bridge there at the parking area and just walk down. It's about a quarter mile walk, half mile at the most. But we'll give you one last look here. Over the wall, and then we're going to head back up to our vehicles again and make a final stop up at the Stillen Basin of Blue Marsh Lake. Alright, so we left the restored lock down there and walking up along the trail here again. As you can see over here is where the canal would have been. We're getting close to where we parked, so we got one more stop on this hike today, and that's going to be the Stillen Basin, so we'll see you there. Alright, so we are at our final destination here, and if you look at this mound and hear the noise in the background, you should know where I'm at. We are actually at Blue Marsh Lake, and we're at the beginning of the Blue Marsh Lake hiking trail here at the Stillen Basin. So this is going to be our last stop here. I brought Matt and Nick here to show them the end of the canal and the water coming out of the lake here. So we're going to walk over here and show you that. They wanted to come and film this part first, so I said okay. So this is going to get a little bit noisy here and a little bit turbulent. Talk about some white rapids. Just to give you a perspective as to how much water is coming out of that lake, that is 10,000 gallons a second. That is some serious water moving. Every so often they do close the valve off, or I should say the gates. And there's guys that actually walk up inside that tunnel and do maintenance and inspect the tunnel and check the gates. Alright, so in addition, this was something that I learned when I took the tour of the control tower here. So this is an earthen dam, as they call it. And an earthen dam has to breathe more or less. So this little lake that's here tells the engineers if the water is seeping out underneath the dam like it's supposed to. You have to have a natural seepage of water underneath the dam through the earth for it to function properly. So that's what this little lake here is for, and they monitor the level of the water that is in this lake here. So even though these kids that are fishing here probably think they might catch something, no, there is no fish in here. This is just the thing here that they use to measure the water that's coming out from underneath the dam breast. All right, so here we are, and hopefully this shows up a little bit better than what it did last year when I was here. But as I like to call it, this is the end of the line for the canal right here. The rest of it was destroyed when they made Blue Marsh Lake. Now there are sections above the lake up in Burnville that you can that are still there yet, which I didn't get around to checking out yet. And some of them you have to do in like the fall or winter when they drop the level water of the lake to see any of it. But right here, if you can see, is the end of the canal. So it would have continued on somewhere up through there, but this is pretty much the remains of it right here. All right, and as Matt would put it, a video is not complete without having dogs in it.
You got it.
Even though we can't see them. Well, they're up there. Are they little schnauzers?
Yeah, there's a schnauzer. I was going to say, even in my last video where I took Jake and Becky to that iron mine, in the drone shot I got a dog.
Yeah, so Matt's thing is it's not a video unless you have a dog in it, and for me it's not a video unless I get some wildlife in it. So, but anyway, we're down here below the Stillen Basin, and again, for those of you that like to fish, when you come here, make sure you read over the regulations, because right there, this is a special regulations fishing area. Like I said, it's either fly fishing only, artificial lures, or catch and release, or delayed harvesting, whatever. But this is just downstream from the Stillen Basin where the water comes out there. And there's picnic areas down here. They have little grill areas. This is just a beautiful area, and the nicer weather brings out the fishermen. But they are just catching and releasing, or I think today might be Menard Use Day also. But fishing officially starts April 3rd. And hopefully this shows up for you in the video here. But if you look over through the trees there, you can see the dip of where the canal is. But this is pretty much all grown up through here, and it's tough to get to film it or anything. But the canal is over there. It will give you a better shot. And you can see the reflection of the water that's there. If I zoom in a little bit more, it's literally right there. But like I said, it's all thorn bushes and grown shut, and it's tough to get to. Alright, right here is where the canal would have been. I'm actually standing here, and it would have crossed over and went over there to that area where I showed you is where it just dead ends. Alright, so with that's going to bring an end to the adventure here today that we did exploring the Union Canal once again. Like I said, I did this last year, so if you want to check them out, go back and check out the segments that I did. But we did it. We did 4 days of what took me 3 or 4 days of filming last year. We did it in 1 day. So there were some areas that we didn't film, only because when I was there last year, there really wasn't of anything of interest, or I didn't feel comfortable going back there because of the situation that happened to me last year when I was there filming. So, but anyway, my thanks to these two guys here, Matt and Nix, for coming along. I'm going to have descriptions to their channels and their videos at the bottom, so be sure to go to their channels, show them some love and support there. And like I said, thanks for coming along. I hope it was informative for you and you didn't find it boring. And again, thank you to all the subscribers who follow me here, Instagram, Facebook, BitChute, and whatever social media I use out there. So until next time, let's have a ball and do it all. We'll see you soon.